I'm Tyler King alongside Evan Cook of Mix 103.7 FM as we get you set for the Fort McMurray Oil Barons and the Brooks Bandits tonight at the Casman Center. Evan, you and I well know these are always very good games, and the Barons coming off a season series that's gone awfully well for them. A 5-2 win in Brooks earlier this year is the first time they've ever won in the regular season at the Centennial Regional Arena. But I think you'd agree that game might not have been a 5-2 win for the Mob if not for some of the best goaltending we've seen all year from Barons goaltender Zach Fortin.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And Fortin, who's stolen some games, frankly, for the Barons this season, really had a good performance that game. And, I remember him taking a big slash in that game as well. So he got things done, not just stopping the pucks, but hanging in there in a tough-fought battle as well. So, going to need some more of that from Fortin tonight for sure.
No question the Barons will also need some offense tonight. They'd struggled up until the last game against Bonnyville. The Barons had scored 5 goals in a 4-game stretch. Obviously not sustainable, but injury is a big part of that, Evan, with Trent Lofthouse just tonight coming back after a 7-game injury absence. Mitch Vanderland missed 5 games over the course of that span. Injuries aren't the excuse, but they have to have had an effect on this team.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And you look at a guy like Lofthouse coming back, it has that size up front, some grit up front for the Barons as well. We all know that he can put the puck in the back of the net. Remember that opening game at the Casman Center here where he scored 4 times, and he's been a pretty consistent goal scorer at times when he's been in the lineup. Same goes for Vanderland, who early in the season was definitely one of the Barons' best players. So, big additions getting these guys back in the lineup. Hopefully, gives Curtis Hunt the ability to spread the wealth around a little bit and get some scoring attacks on a couple different lines here, because you're right, the Barons have been lacking goals lately.
Barons will see some familiar faces tonight. Barons fans will certainly, and a former Oil Baron who had 2 points actually in that 5-2 win over Brooks earlier this year. Former Old Grizzly 45-point man Kyle Starr, of course acquired from the Barons at the January 10th trade deadline. Also, the former captain of the Lloydminster Bobcats, Lyndon Springer. The big thing with the Bandits earlier this year, Evan, was a lack of experience on the back end. Certainly with the deadline acquisitions Ryan Papuano made, he addressed a few concerns there, forward depth and the age on defense too.
Yeah, you're right, and Starr's obviously a big addition there. They've got their big goal scorers, Austin Plevy, of course, leading the team in scoring, and is a big part of that. But yes, Starr just gives you that sort of secondary ability to score. Good player to have on the ice. And then, of course, Lyndon Springer, no surprise to Barons fans. I'm sure many remember him knocking Alex Cromwell out of the playoffs last year as that big, tough, bruising defenseman for the Bobcats. But he as well, can contribute offensively. So 2 definitely big acquisitions for the Bandits. And that they'll be fired up after having lost to the Mob on their home ice earlier this year.
Finally, the standings implications are big for both these teams. Brooks is still trying to chase first place in the South. But for the Barons, their first game in a week and a half, Evan, they've now got 1 or 2 games in hand on pretty well all of their North Division rivals. Technically, they're in 4th, but just barely behind Bonnyville with a couple of games in hand on them. A chance to narrow the gap on Lloydminster. Definitely the sense of urgency has got to come into the Mob's game a little bit here with only 4 home games left.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. In the North Division, there could be a total re-racking even from we've seen now. Of course, Spruce Grove's got first, but between really 2 and really 5 at this point, there could be a whole different shift. I think for the Barons, especially looking ahead to the fact that they've got Lloydminster on the last 2 games of the regular season in this building, 2 huge head-to-head matchups, they could conceivably get up to second place. So 2 big games for the Barons starting tonight. And Brooks, it being in second in the South, 7 points back of first with 7 games to play. So they could take first, but it's probably not likely for them. They'd have to go a long way, and Camrose would have to fall a little bit. So, but for the Barons, it's really gut check time here, because if they can put some big points together, especially with a big road trip coming up next week, they can start to make a move in the standings.
One heck of a home game coming up. It's the Barons and the Brooks Bandits at the Casman Center. Puck drop coming up at 8 o'clock.